Yeah, I can't play anything yet. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am joined with Wally. He has no relevance to the video, but he's nice and warm. As it is anti-bullying week, I decided to do something bullying related. As you can see by the title, I am trying to resurrect my series on the channel called Let's Talk About, where I talk about subjects either you have requested or I feel like need to be addressed. And because it is anti-bullying week, I feel like bullying needs to be addressed. Bullying comes in all shapes and sizes. It comes in cyberbullying, it comes in IRL, it comes from relationships, it comes from marriages, even can come from your family, which really shocks some people. The family isn't a warm bath. Ha! Functionalists. Only sociology students will get that. People can have different experiences of bullying. It can vary from little to none, or from loads. I do talk about bullying quite a lot on this channel because it is to do with my anxiety, my depression, my PTSD, my this, my that, my everything really. My whole life has been to do with bullying, and I'm one of those people that like dealt with it for a very long time. Like I was bullied from like half of year 4 to halfway through like year 9, like to the very end of year 9. And if you're not from the UK, you won't really know what that means. In year 4, I was about age 8 really, and it stopped at age 14, so yikes. Yeah, I was bullied for quite a long time. It was like 10 years of my life. The only really good time I experienced in school was year 11, and I had exams, but I didn't really care because I was having such a jolly good time without the bullies and without anything to worry about really. Year 10 wasn't very good because once the bullying stopped in year 9, my mental illnesses were very apparent in year 10. So once that all stopped, and that's what I'm going to segue into in a minute, so that's a really good segue. Good job. People don't really talk about what happens after the bullying stops. It's all well and good that we talk about what is happening during when we get bullied, but what we need to kind of highlight now is what happens when we aren't getting bullied and when it's like past tense. The things after, I think, are worse than what happens during, because after you've been bullied, you experience things like PTSD. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder, which is the thing that like veterans get in the war, like when they come out of war. PTSD isn't just for war veterans, it is for people that have suffered with abuse and people that have been bullied and overall just ashamed to be alive, basically. I would get triggered. Don't really want to use that because the internet has made a mockery out of the word triggered, but it is the right word to use. I would get triggered in certain classrooms, especially the English and the maths blocks, which is where I spent most of my time in school. So that's probably why I got a lot of panic attacks in school, because of that. Leading on from PTSD, you also encounter, some people encounter more often than not, they encounter anxiety and trust issues and depression, which all lead to self-harm. And just feeling like you could never be loved. I get very triggered with the word fat, which is one of my most used words on Facebook, apparently. It's like, you know, when you do the tests and really put into perspective how much I use one of the words that I hate, because it's been literally launched into my vocabulary because I've heard it about myself so much, so I say it about other people. Why not? Really learning not to use the word fat, because no one's fat, no one's ugly, it's just a social structure. But yeah, even now I still get triggered over some words. I still get triggered over some places. And there are some places in my hometown I cannot walk. This doesn't even relate to bullying either. If you've just gone through a traumatic experience, you have PTSD, you could get it. Like, it doesn't really matter what you've been through. If you've been through something that has caused you distress, and you'll jump back to that place. You're remembering something, you're going back to that emotional place. Maybe not physically, but you are mentally and emotionally, you're really back in that place. And you feel like you're trapped. I'd say way of getting out of that would probably be to smack your hands really hard. That is the only way. I know it's not really nice to self-inflict pain, and it can be a trigger to self-harm, but I found the only way, especially if you're feeling like the situation is not real and you feel like nothing around you is real. I feel like if you feel that you are back into the place that you are with your PTSD, clapping your hands really hard, feeling the sting, or even if you don't want to like cause yourself pain, which no one really does. I only do that because I'm used to it, and I'm used to the sting of that, and kind of it's a way of self-harming without self-harming and without hurting yourself. Is that sting makes me feel alive, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I can feel pain, it's great. I'm alive now, everything's real. If you don't want to do that, just put your hand against your chest and just kind of stand there. It makes you look a bit weird and like you're saluting the friggin' queen or something, but just kind of feel your chest and be like, yeah, I've got a heartbeat, I've got a pulse, and I'm alive. This is real. This is definitely real. You need to tell someone, like, just phone your best friend. I've done this a couple of times actually, and she thought I'm really weird. I phoned her and been like, this is real, and she's like, are you okay? Do you need some help? Probably. The reason why we should be kind to each other is the fact that you never really know what someone's going through. You never really know who needs it. Kindness and manners are two of the most expensive gifts, but they are free. So use that privilege. They're the only two things that are free in life. Even love has a cost now. Your girlfriend wants a new ring, or she wants a fucking dinner, or your Netflix password. It has a cost. But being kind and having manners really doesn't. There are many kind people in the world, and if you can't find one, be one. If you are getting bullied, there are obviously methods, like I just said, like clapping your hands or feeling your heartbeat and knowing that you have a purpose. So many people you can call, like an adult you trust, one of your friends. You've got to have those people in your life that can see you on your worst days and don't mind, because going to be a really lonely person if you don't have those people. There are also really professional ones like Kuth. They run a counselling session, a free one actually, online. You just have to like click the button. They do have a closing line. It's really shit, and most of my problems happen at 2 AM and they're not open. But if you do feel the need to drop in the next morning when you're having your emotional hangover, Kuth is always there to warm your spirits. You can contact Childline. There's also CAMS. CAMS kind of fuck people over, but they did me justice, so I've got really good things to say about CAMS. I just want to say something about the suicide hotline in the UK. They are absolutely amazing, and I had a very lovely chat with a girl called Dawn. She talked about everything but what I initially phoned for. She literally distracted me from everything, and then as soon as the call was over, I just went to sleep and I just totally forgot about everything. So Dawn was, every time I phone the helpline, not very often, but sometimes I have a few slip-ups, as you do. It's natural when the road to recovery, you have slip-ups. But I do ask for Dawn. If she's not there, I'll talk to someone else, I guess, but Dawn is my main bitch. Link all these links, and obviously not your friends' phone numbers, because I don't know those. There's so many fucking things. There's Salvation Army, there are so many people you can contact and talk to. All of my social media will be in the description too, if you really want to come and speak to me, Mother Shaki, because actually I'm Aunt Shaki, aren't I? Because of the freaking, the sex video. I'm your creepy uncle that doesn't know when to shut up. As we know from past Let's Talk Abouts, we just Google some random facts and statistics about what we have learned today. Drop my phone. It survived. 50% of young people will be bullied by another young person. 30% at least say they get bullied once a week. 1.5 million people, young people, have been bullied this year already. 145,800 people of these, 1.5 million young people are bullied every day. Twice as many boys than girls bully people. That's interesting. Yeah, that's obvious why that is. 57% of females in schools have been bullied. It's just adding up, isn't it? You say that feminism isn't real, it's a load of bollocks. Well, please look at the bullying statistics. 44% of young people who have been bullied experience depression. 41% of young people who have been bullied experience social anxiety. And 33% of those bullied have suicidal thoughts. Okay, on that note, we're going to end this Let's Talk About here before I start crying my makeup off. I just really want us to get out the stereotype of that boys can't cry and girls don't masturbate, because we both know that those two aren't true. 1, 4, what's that, 4, 4, 3, 5. Mwah.
What's the worst that could happen? You'll never know unless you try. Don't be put off by your self-doubting thoughts. If you don't take a leap, then you might never fly.
I was taking a thumbnail and I fucking choked. Why? He does not like thumbnails.